Don't hit me up when I start touring. Don't be lacking cause they plotting. You get used like a socket. It's the ones when they rock it. Now rock out. Fake friends. Fake friends. I thought they'd be there until the end. Man, they slept in pajama pants. I guess when my dream works, I really miss. Hey, when you got a vision and they don't see it too. Transparent, they see through. Speaking French like we who. Where was you at when I slept in the attic? So broke that I didn't have a basement. I was down, had my back to the pavement. Man, I definitely wasn't sunbathing. I was set to go back in 99 when the block was hot. I'm a fireman, but trust, boy, you get your lollipop. I used to roll with niggas, now they roll with ops. I call them roly-poly, they whole life is botched. Crying over spilled milk.
I do not own the rights to this music.
Good evening. Do not attempt to adjust your radio.
There's nothing wrong.
We have taken control as to bring you this special show. But we will return it to you as soon as you are grooved.
Yeah.
It's been a long time. I shouldn't have left you. What I was doing, mom, is that too.
Think of how many week shows you slept through. Time's up. I'm sorry I kept you.
Hey, what's going on, y'all? It's Pops. I just want to pop in real quick. Hey, play on words. Pops and Pop Gems. You know, coming up, we got Pop's perspective.
Let's tell you what it is.
Tell you what it is.
Baby, you the real, we don't never do fake. Life is a gift, but sometimes you need guidance. Pop's perspective, always perfect timing. All that alignment. Yeah, he gon' drop them gems.
Pop's Gems.
You know he really him. It's something about his confidence to let you know he hasn't seen.
You don't want to miss. Don't meet me there. Beat me up. Pop's perspective, Monday night, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Peace.
Yeah. Well, boys and girls, dudes and dudettes, we here one more again, one more Monday, and I wanna ask y'all to continue to keep me in prayer because this is just a little overwhelming even for Pops. It's one of those uncharted territories, and I know that I've dropped a lot of gems, but this is one I had to get out the vault in the back, and I haven't really broken it down yet on how to articulate the words that would even attempt to console my own self. So, and I didn't mean to jump off into the deep end, but nevertheless, here we are. All right, so first and foremost, shout out to God, who without him, none of this would be possible. And also, we want to send a shout out and let y'all know that this show today is dedicated to my little brother, Stephen Pratt. Sleep well, little brother, until we meet again. Shout out to Exotic Pops, to Left Hand Lacey, and to Notorious True. They holding it down. Exotic Pops, of course, the B&B crew who's in the building, and I'm gonna be calling on you, and thank you so much for joining us tonight. We have Naybella and Notorious True representing for the B&B crew, and they're here every Tuesday night, and you want to tune in to them. If they don't have nothing to talk about, they got somebody on the show that got something to talk about. So always a good time with the B&B crew. Support them. My newfound family, the Safe House 3 on Spotify, B-Mac, Lefty, of course, Ingrained family. He's he a pimp by blood, not relation. Lefty, you already engrafted in. And Peanut, they come on Wednesdays at 9 on all platforms, but you can check them out on Spotify. My son is in the chat. Couldn't do it without him in so many facets, so many different things that I could say about him. But check him out at www.allseasons.shop. Create the panic, change your perspective. He got a whole entourage of things going down. And if you don't see it, ask him, he'll get it done. Jack of many, many, many trades. Jay Iris, you heard him. Got some new stuff coming up. I've been playing him, and shout out to that's my youngest son. And of course, like I said, he got some new music he's coming up with, and so we want to keep an eye out for that. Clear minds, mental health needs. You always got to keep your psyche right. Always got to keep your mental right, because that's the playing ground. That's the creation ground, if you will. That's the as they would say in Superman land, the fortress of solitude. That's where the bat cave is in your mind. You have to protect that. And so mental health, clear minds. Ms. Brooke Bishop is there if you want to see it. And so Brooke Bishop, Clear Minds. And then, of course, to you, all of my gemologists, I want to say thank you to you. And then also, while I'm in this area because of the show, I want to send a special shout out to my boy. I call him Pierre. Y'all know him as Boogaloo, whatever. He in the chat. He know what I'm talking to. Bruh, as much as he can, he will cut off as many fingers and toes as he needs to when it comes to help a true friend in the definition thereof. And so, of course, definitely want to shout him out. And then, of course, I can't, like I said, forget my gemologist, all of you who have thought it not robbery to follow and pick up and do some things. And we have a lot of stuff coming up. We got, of course, Nelson's going to come back. We got to cancel that. But also we got a crump duo, husband, man and wife, or boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever you want to call them. They coming on. We're going to interview them, and we got some other stuff coming to you. So definitely want you to stay tuned for that. All right. Am I my brother's keeper? Of course. Now, for those of you who don't know, who haven't been seeing it, if you've been here with your eyes closed on Wednesday, my little brother went on moment we transitioned. And so my energy is going to be to the family as we do my brother's keeper, to my other siblings, and to the friends and the family of my brother, so that they can be uplifted in this time. So if you go with me, and my brother's keeper, that one person that you've been thinking about, or that popped in your mind, or that you felt you need, the opportunity to send special energy. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right. Wow. So yeah, on the screen underneath me, but never underneath me, my brother from another mother, as they say. Y'all seen him on here before. No stranger to Pop's gems, as they say in the church realm. I introduce to some and present to others one of my oldest. And I don't mean by his chronological age. I mean by the 10-year of our relationship. Mr. Juan Denmark, always a pleasure, brother, to have you on the show.
Yeah,
True, boy, you in the building early, boy. You must have. Are they looking for you at work? Should I not mention your name? Go incognito. True. I'm just playing. Shout out to True, part of the B&B crew. Juan, what's goody?
yeah. What's going on, man? Hey, first of all, man, that hurt my heart when you called me Wednesday. But I just want to, publicly, you and your family, my condolences, man. Because we are so old, I go back, man. Michael and Steve, when they was just, they had to be, couldn't have been no more than 3 years old.
Right.
Wow. Yeah. Yeah. So, and my condolences to you and the family of Stell. And I can't tell you I know what that feels like, but I know it hurts.
Yeah. Y'all excuse me for a moment. Yeah, it was I'm adjusting this. It was a hard pill to swallow. There, is that better? Talk to me, want to say something.
Yeah, I hear you.
Okay, good. I got y'all where y'all need to be. So um it was and while we're in that, again, y'all, when Juan and I go so far back that we was in Germany together, and of course my little brother was there, and man, I'm telling you, um y'all gotta excuse me, man, I'm telling you, bro, when you, like I said in the onset, uncharted territory, man. I've never I let me say it this way, and for those of you who have intellect will understand, I never thought I'd be burying my brothers or my sister. I'll put it that way. I thought, if anything, with what was going on with me and, all the wake up call and all that, let's fast forward to that. But what I'm saying is, I've had some close calls, and I always thought, that it would be my time to go, but not in a sense of wanting to or anticipating. It's just when I got the phone call Wednesday morning, I'm like, because, lately, y'all who've been following me know my health has been kind of a little shaky, to say the least. And so my sister was calling me, and I'm saying, okay, she's just calling to check on me. And I'm like, hey, what's up? I'm on my way to work. She was like, and she told me, and I was like, what? What? So when you talk about, I mean, there's so much, and I wasn't going to do the show, but there's so much that ties into, again, and I want y'all to chime in, and we're gonna get to the crux of it, but it all blends together. When you, or like as me, over the years, who have, and you, Juan, and those of you that are older even, when you've counseled so many people in like situation, and you're gifted at consoling, because not everybody can console somebody. Not everybody knows how to read atmosphere, attitude, body language, things of that nature. But if you've been gifted to do that, how much harder is it to apply to your own self when you're in that situation, because you've heard it all? You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I'm 20 years in. There's scriptures that you gonna come at me with, when I was like, yeah, okay, well, since you're using that one, did you think about this one? And I'm not saying that in a braggadocious format. What I'm saying, and what I'm crying out, and for those of you psychologists, is not a cry for help. This is a self-analyzation in which I can come to terms with this and deal with it. But when you have to do it your own self, it's, yeah, true. It's a million times harder, because it's like, okay, you bring in band-aids and I need a transplant. So what you're supplying me would be good had I had a little cut, but this cut to the extent where I need, I'm hurt, seriously hurt. I need more powerful, and not to discredit that which is already been applied. Don't get me wrong, and I don't want people to misconstrue that. What I'm saying is, what I've given, and for those of you who know me over the years, I've had the gift and I've been able to console people, and so I know, pretty much what to say and how to, I do it on the job, and they get mad at me, but they'll be all right, because they're not my source anyway. They'll catch it on the way home. But anyway, so now it's like I have to tell myself them same things, them same, you know, it's, do this and do that and read this and understand that. And so I came up with a little quick slogan that I think has a universal application. And it simply says that the flesh mourns, but the spirit rejoices. And when you understand that, for example, if now whatever was ailing my brother, whatever was what he was going through that may have been negative, he's not going through that anymore. That's a spiritual thing. That's a rejoicement. The flesh is going to mourn because I miss him. That's my little brother. I want him here. I want him around me. I want to be able to hang up on him and he hang up on me and we fuss and fight and do all those things because, all that comes into play. And don't focus on the good times. Yeah, well, I've known him all his life. They weren't always all good times, bad times, and up and down. And Juan, in Germany, boy, there was some, there was a bond in Germany that people had that, it made like Juan and I family. You bonded, and so my little brother was Juan's little brother. And so, all that, but it's just hard to have to be able to process all of that. And so that's why the flesh grieves. But spiritually, I'm wise enough to know that it's a transition because there is no real death per se. It's a separation. It's a transition. Ashes to ashes, dust to dust. The flesh goes back to the earth from whence it came. It's the spirit that lives on. And then without getting too spiritual as to that, but I'm just saying, so it's a transition. And, yes, that's how I comfort myself in knowing that, okay, But anyway, keep Pops in prayer, man. For those of you, Friday is the homegoing services. And it's going to be out in Kissimmee. Check my page. I posted it. And so that all leads me to tonight's show. And like I said, I'm glad those of you are here. We're not going to be long. We're going to jump into this. We're going to talk about a little bit and we're going to get out of here. Now, even before this, I was thinking about friend. And we talk about, I think I was talking to Juan. I say, too many times we as people take, we're too open or we're too giving or we're too quick to let down our boundaries or extend our boundaries. And by nature, those of us which are just kind-hearted, but that can get you sometimes into a world of hurt. And sometimes we have I don't want to say is good or bad, but we have the notion to call people our friend. Okay. And, hey, who's that? Oh, that's my friend. That's my friend girl. And so in concept, how Pops do, when you think about friend, there's a lot that comes to mind. There's a lot of definitions. A lot of people hold that in some people take it truer to heart than others. Some people stand by it more than others. But I think that the term friend has been watered down over the years because it's been used too loosely. And what I mean by this is you call somebody your friend and you don't know that person's government name. You don't know where they live. You don't know where their people are from. But you call them your friend. So in order for me to get to that point, and then I'm going to pose a question, we have to define what friend is. Friend, by definition, is a person whom one knows and with whom one has a bond of mutual affection, typically exclusive of sexual or family relations. So that's somebody that you know. That's somebody that you have a mutual bond. And then it went deeper. It says, what is the best definition of a friend? And this is what I'm going to present this, and then I'm going to ask those of you in the chat, and I'm going to ask those of you, I'm going to ask you, Juan, your definition. It says here, what the best definition of a friend is: a person well known to another and regarded with liking, affection, and loyalty. What do y'all take on that? Yes, thank you for those of you who are joined. Thank you, thank you. What's your take on that? What would be if somebody asked you what's your definition of friend? How would you answer that? You out there in the chat too, you're welcome to chime in. I got my glasses, I can read.
I think two words can be added to that definition for me: trust and respect.
Okay.
I believe that relationships, no matter what they are, they're you got to establish your expectations. So some people should be called, with my definition, I'd call them, oh, that's a buddy, that's somebody I know. Friend is sometimes your friends are closer than your family.
Okay.
And so I think it's about all those things you said, the sharing of ideals, value system, but there's something to the core, especially as far as I'm concerned, for long-term friendships, because they're relationships. Like you said the other day, you're talking about Michael. You hang up on him, he hang up on you. There's a relationship there.
Yeah.
You guys can do that to each other. It doesn't mean you don't love each other. That's just what brothers do. I done knuckle up James a couple of times.
Right. Yeah, well, it says here, Webster defines a friend as you stand in, I'm sorry, says a person who has a strong liking for and trust in another person who's not an enemy. So there you go.
Yep, trust and respect.
And so, and I want to elaborate a little bit on respect, and then I want to elaborate a little bit on trust as well. As far as respect, just because you're my friend doesn't mean that you don't have boundaries, or boundaries cannot be set. And that's where respect comes in as a reinforcement. To me, there's levels of friendship. And of course, because you got, your friend and then your best friend and your best friend for life and all that stuff. But what I'm saying is, what I've learned is respect is earned by action over time. There's somebody that told me that they observe, and I'll never forget it. I use it all the time. If he can get $1 every time I said it, he'd be a rich man. But you watch patterns. People are going to tell on themselves, not by mouth, but by deed. And so that's why I say, first and foremost, respect, of course, respect, and then trust. How far can I go with your trust? Can I go from you keeping a secret and not scandalizing my name to trusting you with my life? Because if you're my friend and we have mutual respect for one another and we're looking out for one another, then I would expect for you to hold my life in esteem as I would yours. Any comments? Hello?
I can't see. Oh, you weren't talking to me, were you?
Yeah. Any comments on that? Would you want a friend that you could trust with your life?
That's the only way I'm going to have one. That's the only way we're going to roll. Because otherwise, for me, what's the point? Friend can't be. My kids will tell you that. My dad always tell us, you ain't got no damn friends. Right. They come in the house. Oh, my friend, who? I don't know his name. Just my friend. Him. But no. We no. And so, yeah, for me, it has to be that way. It has to be one of those, I don't know who made that move, one of those old calls where I call you and say, hey, man, meet me at exit 35 and have a brown paper bag with 50 $1 bills in it. And I hang up the phone and know you on the way.
And know you on the way. And those kind of relationships, I feel, are far and in between. They're far and gone. B Crew said, "Be careful with expectations." And so, yeah, because again, so this is friendship, which means I'm allowing you to come on board. And I think of my Navy days. In the Navy, you had to ask permission to board the ship. You weren't, just because you was in the Navy didn't mean you had immediate access. And then there was some places within the ship that you still couldn't go, depending on your clearance. I had a secret security clearance. I can go sit in combat information center with the captain of the ship. That was my job. So I think of that now as to like friendships. There's certain positions in your life, certain people that may have access to board the ship, but they're still limited. Why? Because they haven't achieved that level as of yet. And that comes not out of making people earn it, but out of wisdom, judging if they can handle it and support what you are anticipating the friendship to be. And that comes from mutual understanding. You have to be willing to give. And I understand what you say, B&B Crew, be careful with expectations. Don't expect nothing, but watch what happens. Hear me well. Never expect nothing. Sit back, but watch what happens. Because what happens is it's either one of two things. It's either an action or a reaction. Either they're going to act some kind of way or they're going to react some kind of way. And based on one of those two things, based on the energy of it, will give you signs. See, a lot of things people can send me a sign when it's raining. Okay, well, it's all them drops falling on your head. That's called rain. That's the sign. The clouds in the sky, you heard that? The lightning, the sign. But we don't want to observe the signs. We want to get wet and then cry about getting caught in the rain. We have to see the signs when it comes to who we call our friend. I'm just saying. So I went and any comments, y'all? Anybody in the chat want to jump in?
Listen, I see when she says be careful of expectations, but I think something that we need to keep in mind in a relationship, you're only half of that relationship. Are they really expectations if you don't communicate them to the other person? Are they really? Or are you just wishing and guessing and hoping and maybes? Because, my expectations may be different than somebody else's. And in a friendship, we need to be on the same, sheet of music. Otherwise, there's nothing to be careful about. It was never communicated to me. I don't know that's how we get down.
I went further, and let me jump to this one. So I went from friend and I looked up acquaintance. Check this out. Acquaintance, by definition, is a person one knows slightly, but who is not a close friend. Okay. So what does that mean? Well, that says, let me see. What does it mean if someone says she's my acquaintance? That means someone who is known but who is not a close friend. And what I can fit into that is, for a good example, is coworkers. We quick to call our coworkers our friends. Our coworkers are not our friends. Our coworkers are our coworkers. They may be acquaintances. You may share a time space at best, but they're not your close friend. You see what I'm saying? And so it says acquaintance is somebody who you know, who you spend time with, but is not a close friend. So that, to me, sets the level stage. First, they become an acquaintance. Okay, I know of this person. I know this person. I want to pursue that deeper. So I spend time with. And now we want to see if the chemistry's there, if we liking the same thing, the whole, there's even a courtship and friendship. You see what I'm saying? And not like stepbrothers. Who's your favorite? Did we just become best friends? Yes, we did. Nah, it's not that simple. Because to me, true friendships are tried over time. They mature. And that's not watering down that you can't have friends in a short amount of time. But the longer the connection in a positive manner, the stronger the bond, then the more value it has. Because true friends don't have to talk every day. You and I don't talk every day, but we can pick up where we left off when we do talk, because we're like on the same page type scenario, if you feel me. And so if you watch in life, we tend to gravitate toward people that have our like interest, our common ground. If you like to model, you hang around models. If you like to dance, you hang around dancers. And that's where you'll pull from to become better than acquaintances, because you're in an area where you have a common ground. Agree or disagree?
I agree. I agree.
So if you're looking for a friend, then you have to look within and see what type of person you're going to be as a friend, because that's the type of person you're going to attract as a friend. Wow. Let me say that again. You have to see what type of person you're going to be as a friend, because that's the type of person you're going to attract as a friend. If you're looking for like qualities, you understand, it's a two-way street. It's a relationship. It's actually a friendship, but it has, again, there's boundaries, there's mandates, there's respect, you know, and I think that the respect factor, even in it just hurts me to see females call themselves out their name to one another all the time. Be this, be that, be this, oh, be this, be, but it's just like, it hurts my heart sometimes when, I hear us calling each other the N word. We don't want them to do it, but they do it because, or they're pressure because we do it. We don't show any respect. Again, what you emanate, you know, you got to, convince me that there's not another word in your vocabulary that you can use to greet, but you want to call him a king after you call him Negro. Come on. I'm just talking. I don't know if I meant to go that far, but in friend, and this is it to those of you who are listening, scripturally, and you can use whatever version you want. It says, if a man wants friends, he must what? Show himself friendly.
Mm-hmm.
So if it's like, people are going to gravitate to what you present. So if you want a good friend, you have to be a good friend, because that's what you're going to draw. And it's so many terminologies to that. I mean, there's so many responsibilities that come along with that. Let's talk about responsibilities as a friend. Is it your responsibility as your friend to tell him he got a booger in his nose?
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. You're not going to let the man walk around or the woman walk around with a booger in their nose. So by the same token, is it not the responsibility as a true friend to mention to said friend, hey, I think you had a line on that one. You all right over here, but you need to tighten up over there. And in order for that to be established, then one must also be receptive to the friend saying, hey, I like the way you did that, but you ain't have to do that. You could have done that a different way. And so it's able to convey correction without conflict. Let me say it that way. It's able for you to critique without conflict, because you should identify that it's coming from a safe place. It's not coming from a place of condemnation, but a place of correction and uplifting, so that you can be a better person, if that makes any sense to anybody. Y'all catch them. I'm right by the vault. I'm dropping as many as I can. You know what I'm saying? So when you walk around, and you got to be careful of who you call friend. And then like Juan said, there's some friends that stick closer than a brother. And with no disrespect to family, I don't think that means that the brother was treating them bad. I just think that the friend superseded the way the brother was treating even the more. The brother extended his to his limit of how he cared, but the friend went further, if you will. Can I say it that way? And it takes a mind to understand it, because if that's your brother, you're supposed to go. That's your blood. That's you're supposed to go all the way. That's But again, a friend is one that's supposed to. If I have to quote a scripture, and I guess I'm in that vein. It says, "One that sticks closer than a brother, one that would give his life." That's what you call a friend. One that would give his life for you. But as I started out the show, I think that we're more now in the world of acquaintance. There's so much backbiting. There's so much snakes. There's so much animosity. There's so much people scheming. It's put 100 in the chat. Talk to me if you feel you can trust people nowadays compared to how it used to be. If you ain't got to listen, you got to walk with a fine tooth comb, a microscope. You got to walk with a test sample. I want a background check. I want a psychological evaluation. I want to know who your peoples are. Matter of fact, I want to see the birth certificate to make sure we going, bruh, because be with somebody 6 months thinking they this, that, and the other. You calling them friend, and you don't know, like I said, you don't know their last name. You don't know where their people came from. They like Martin, like Tommy. You ain't got no job. Where you working? You ain't got. We don't know. But like you said, the person that you can send a text to. Some of these people y'all call friends. You social friends. Yeah,
Right.
only talk to them on Instagram and Facebook and TikTok and Zoom me and all that. Bro, they don't trust you enough to have their regular cell phone number. You got to talk to them through a social media app. Y'all missed me with that. But psychologically, for fear of rejection or lack of friendship, some will lower their standards and let that suffice. Never met this person in their life. Only know them on social media, but that's my dog. That's my, I don't know nothing but whatever they present on there. Come on, we got to do better than that, people. You know why? Because there's going to come a time that everybody's going to need a support system. No man is an island. And when you most need a support system, you want people around you that are going to have, number one, your best interests at heart, that are going to uplift you and even carry you if they have to through the situation. I remember reading a story about a man who was sick and they couldn't get to the doctor because the whole hospital was full. So his four friends carried him to the top of the hospital, tore a hole in the roof, and lowered him down by rope so he could see the doctor. That's how much they cared for their friend. How far you willing to go? You just got acquaintances. You just want likes. You really don't care about your followers. You just want likes. You just want to bust the internet with likes. And Pop's coming hard because time is money, and money is time well spent. Everybody, I keep telling y'all, we got an expiration date, and we don't know when that is. So, that being said, focus on giving your attention, your time, your talents, and your treasure to the people that are going to appreciate it. People that are going to have your best interest at heart, not just any old body. And I know we got a kind heart that can be misconstrued in some any way. I'm not saying don't be nice. Just be nicer to the ones that you call friends that are in your inner circle. Fortify that relationship. You know what I'm saying? Unless you got a lot of black suits. There's gonna come a time that, you're gonna miss that call, you're gonna miss that text. Trust me when I tell you, those people that you call friends, reevaluate your circle. Reevaluate reevaluate your circle. And if your circle doesn't reflect that, then change your circle. You got acquaintances. I don't want people that know me. I want people that know me. I don't know them like that. I mean, I know them. I don't know them like that. I want people that know me like that. I want people that know when I'm out of pocket. I want people that know, they could tell. I don't have to say nothing. Those are the people that I want around me, because those are the people that are going to motivate me in a positive light. So, anyone else? We are going to call it a night, because Pops has been along. It's been along, and we still got a lot to do. Juan, any closing remarks? Any comments? Anybody in the chat?
No, man, I just agree. I think I'm staring at the expectations. I think it's very important to establish up front the expectations of this relationship, this friendship, whatever. And so there'll be no disappointment. You won't have to be careful. You'll recognize when you're not getting what you both agreed to, and then somebody has a decision to make, Right. So that's about it for me, brother.
All right. Well, listen, for those of you who joined in those comments, I thank you. I thank you. I thank you. Again, I'll post the homegoing services of my brother. We dedicate this show to my brother. Get down. Lost your mind. We dedicate this to my brother, Stephen Pratt. Love you, brother. We'll see you soon. Don't forget tomorrow night, B&B Crew. They've been in here. They in here. Notorious, True, and of course, Bella, the Flower, and the King and the Queen over there. They hold it down. They'll be here tomorrow night at 8:30. Caesars is always cooking up something. Check him out, my son. And then we waiting on Jay Iris. He's dropping new music, so stay tuned for that. The B&B Crew. Who else? The Safe House, Clear Minds. Those of you that support me, thank you, thank you, thank you. I'll keep saying it if I said it a million times. Thank you for your prayers. Again, thank you for your condolences. Keep Pops lifted. It's not over until it's over, and then even then, so we're still dealing with it. But nevertheless, we gonna make it through this. You understand what I'm saying? We are definitely gonna make it through this. So, on behalf of Pop's Gems and Pop's Perspective, I want to thank all of you who thought it not robbery to join in. I know, True, yes, sir. I wanted to bring you on, man. You got anything to say? You want to put anything in the chat? True, you good? Nay, anything you want to say? I see you pop in. All right, bet. Okay, so again, on behalf of Pop's Perspective and Pop's Gems, until next week, stay tuned. Keep me lifted. Keep the family lifted. As always, much love. Love all you. Listen, I can't stress it enough. Tell the people that you